Since the start of February, Samsung launched S23 Ultra. The design is mostly similar to its own recent variant S22 Ultra, but if we look closely, then we will see the difference in design. Moreover, again, internals are upgraded to its peak according to performance, and this year S23 Ultra left iPhone 14 Pro Max behind in camera comparison, design and day-to-day usage. Box content are really easy to think. Samsung doesn't complicate the thing you get in the box. There is a phone and a charging cable. They really keep up with this trend and make sure that if you spend this amount of money, you will not get a charging brick, because that's the only way you have to save the planet. Besides that, you have to buy it separately from their website. I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but you should ask your customers if they want a brick or not, like Xiaomi does in past. S23 Ultra has dynamic AMOLED 1440p 120Hz display, which is secured by Gorilla Glass Victus 2. Also, there is intelligent technology to adjust the frame rates to save the battery. The colors of the display are amazingly better to see at. Plus, it is labeled as the best display in the world right now. The designers make the display comfortable for hand grips and to avoid mistouches by shifting the position of screen from edge. According to Samsung, the peak brightness is 1200 nits manual as well as 1750 nits automatic in sunlight, which is as same as its previous variant S22 Ultra. Speaking of colors, they use same technology as we seen in previous Samsung phones. The contrast and the color accuracy is really good to look, and you can play with color modes in setting according to your need. Moreover, there is a section in setting called motion smoothness where you can select hertz, whichever one you prefer. It also has adaptive refresh rate, which you may heard before. The screen can change hertz accordingly. For example, if you are watching a video and the playback is 24 frames per second supported, the phone will change its hertz to 24 to save battery. Besides that, Samsung made finest display and is said to be king in display market. S23 Ultra's frame is an recycled aluminum frame, glass back and glass front. Back glass makes the phone feel more premium, and there is a quad camera setup which is as same as S22 Ultra in looks. But if we look closely, there is a slight change. The bumps are increased, the size of the rings are also increased. On the front, there is 6.8 inches dynamic AMOLED screen and the front facing camera, which is downgraded to 12 megapixel from 40, and that's a big change. We will talk about it later. Moreover, right side, the volume button and the power button. Bottom section, the charging port, speaker grill, SIM tray and the identity of Samsung Note series S Pen. Speaking of S Pen, with the S Pen there are many features in this phone to explore and to play with. But little note here, all the S Pens are in matte black color, only the cap is recolored to match the frame's color. Speaking of colors, the phone comes in 4 colors as you can see, and the phone has IP68 rating too. Speaking of internals, there are 4 variants as you can see, 8GB and 12GB RAM variant. Beside that, there is a 1TB storage variant, and all these variants have UFS 4.0 storage, which is the latest and the fastest storage right now. To increase the performance, Snapdragon made the processor which is labeled as Galaxy Snapdragon Gen 2. There are other companies use this processor, but you will surprised to know that the Antutu score is higher in S23 Ultra. Cameras are the most important section in any smartphone. They really improved it. There is a quad camera setup and the main sensor is shifted to 200 megapixel from 108 megapixel. There is a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 10 megapixel telephoto and another 10 megapixel telephoto for 10x zoom camera. The output comes from this phone is really nice and sharp. The 200 megapixel huge number is not just a number. It helps the phone to make the picture less noise and clearer. The amount of contrast and the brightness is really good. The main ingredient here is 200 megapixel, and look how this number works. The light it captures and it converts every 16 pixel into 1 to reduce noise and darkness and give a 12 megapixel clean image, just like Apple does to their new iPhone 14 family, and they have 48 megapixel main sensor. The artificial intelligence are the most important ingredient in these days. On this base, Apple always take the lead, but not now. They work on video section too and improve the video quality. There is a ultra steady mode which is now super good. 8K is now usable and makes sense. The The frame rates are increased to 30 frames per second from 24 frames per second. The ultra-wide and the telephoto is good, but the improvement in 10x zoom photo in comparison to S22 Ultra, the photos are clear thanks to Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. On the front side, the camera megapixel are downgraded to 12 megapixel from 40, but the output you will get is 12 megapixel, and this time the quality gets better in a lower sensor, and that's what artificial intelligence do. And that's it for the camera section. Tell me if you want a camera comparison video in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to make a detailed video on this topic. Last but not least, battery compartment. Battery compartment is the most important section because how much they improve this time. As before, we see the Snapdragon chips give better battery life, and this time they cut off Exynos and all the models will have Snapdragon chip. The phone comes with 5000 mAh battery with 25 watt fast charging speed, and it can last long about 1.5 days for normal day usage as tested. Also on social media, people seems to like it and it fills the blank space left in S22 Ultra. One thing I don't like about this phone is its price. Just kidding. The price of this phone is on screen as you can see for all variants. The final thing is, if you have S22 Ultra, there is nothing in the phone to make you spend some extra bucks, and that's it for the video. I hope you like it. If you do a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.